Welcome to Meet the Biz. I am very excited today because I have to turn off my phone before it. I knew there was something. I'm still learning how to do this.
The first thing I want to teach, turn off your phone before you go into audition.
Now exactly. That voice you're hearing is a woman who is, I was trying to think of the word. There is no word to describe this amazing, beautiful guide, healer, angel on earth. She has given me so much strength throughout the last 15 years since I've known her. She's been on E.T. She was on E.T., Cujo, The Howling, 10. She's had over 250 acting credits on her IMDb. D. Wallace. D. Wallace.
Hi, baby.
Hello. How are you?
How are ya?
I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there.
Okay, well, let's see if we can't get from hanging in there to creating an awesome world to hang in within you.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it all starts inside,
It's true.
Every character that we play, we have to find inside first. It's the same thing in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
What part do you want to play? Victim, victorious, it's always a choice. But you've heard me preach this for years, haven't you?
Oh, I have. You do so much. I am D. Wallace. That is your website, and that's yep. When I see that website, I go, oh, I am David Zimmerman. It transcends to all of us.
And then, Mr. Zimmerman, how do you define David Zimmerman?
The first word that came to my mind is whole.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. As in W-H-O-L-E.
Whatever you put after I am, your energy takes direction from that. So I am tired, you're going to get more tired because energy has to have direction. We learned this in 5th grade, right?
Right.
So this is science. You have to direct energy, otherwise energy will pick up its own direction unconsciously and go wherever it hears. So if you're not consciously directing yourself, choosing to stay in balance right now, to choose to focus on what gives you joy, what gives you freedom, to focus on health and wellness, then your energy will get bombarded by the press and by the old fears of your childhood, and by your religious and societal trainings, which unfortunately has taught all of us that we have no power and no control.
Yeah.
And of course, we're the only ones that have control over what we think, what we feel, our perspectives. Nobody can make us think or feel or have a perspective that we don't say, okay, I'll go there. So we really are in charge of our own creation. And these are the days, baby, where we got to step up and do that, because those of us that know how help thousands of other people to keep their balance.
Well, I mean, you taught me that power of the mind is so potent.
Yep.
I mean, when I went through my heart healing several years ago, it was that power of the mind that got me through it. It was that connection and the love of discipline that you gave to me.
Thank you.
And brought me to the place where I can say, I am David Zimmerman and I am whole.
Yeah, because however we define ourselves, that's what we'll be. You see, most people want to be an actor, but they don't say that they're an actor, that they're a successful, working, joyful actor until somebody outside of them verifies that. But it doesn't work that way. If I walked into Steven Spielberg's office and went, gosh, Mr. Spielberg, I don't really know if I'm an actress, but I sure would like to star in this awesome film. He'd go, thanks, sweetheart. Come back when you know. So you have to work, you have to walk into the room knowing, David.
Yeah.
You have to know who you are. You have to know your talent. You have to trust yourself and your talent. And then that gives them permission to know and trust your talent also. But it's got to start with you.
Right. Right. I love how how we're talking to me, but it is talking to everybody. It is going out to everybody.
Creation is creation. We all create the same way. It's just that most of us don't understand how it works.
Right. I loved when you did come to Meet the Biz the several times that you came, and how the first half of the class was very about I am, who I am coming from here. And then the second half of the class, we went into the scene work. And I love how you teach that.
Oh, thanks. I again, you can go to class and go to class and go to class. And I have a great, when I booked my first big series, Together We Stand, and I thought I want to give back to all these amazingly talented people in my class.
Yeah.
And I had such a great rapport with my executive producer. He said, Dee, whomever you want to bring in, give us the names. And do you know, almost every single one of them blew the audition.
They blew it.
Yeah, they blew it. And they were brilliant in class.
Yeah.
When they were in the safety of their class.
Right.
But when they left the class, they forgot they knew that they knew.
Oh.
Yeah. So somehow, and it's different for all of us, but somehow we go into, oh my God, I'm getting paid for this now. So I got to do it all differently. Or, oh my God, this is for, not my teacher. This is for somebody who could hire me. So I've got to be somebody that I'm not, and it's, no, you got to go in knowing you and the talent you have, take control of the room, and then what can you give to those executive producers and directors in the room? What can you give? How can you bring this character to life to honor her or him?
Through your own, not what they want, but from.
Oh yeah, because they half the times I can tell you guys, they don't know what they want. I mean, there's so many times in my career where I've read something and it's been for a different sex or a different ethnicity. And I went, yeah, but I know this quality. I know this person. Ask them if they would honor me by allowing me to come in and read. Right? Now, half the industry is going, I don't want to go in and read, trying to just get me the job. But when they have seen it a different way, then you've got to go in and show them.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And I got to say, a fourth of the time, they've changed their mind and I booked the job. But you see, if you don't know that I am Dee Wallace and I am talented and I do know this part, then you're not going to put yourself out there to do it.
Did you ever go through a time in your career where you were not Dee Wallace, where you somehow...
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday.
Sure. We go through that as people, and we go through that as professionals every day.
Yeah.
Your job, that's what the mental mind is made for, David, is to doubt and question. That's what's kept us safe all these millennials, right? But that's not how you get what you want. That's not how you take what you want and turn it into a materialistic reality. So your job is to go to your mind, thank you for sharing. This is old shit. I'm not going to really pay much attention to you because I know I know.
Right.
And you bring yourself back. And we are always in the moment of being able to empower ourselves to do that. But we got to choose. We got to be conscious that we're stepping into the toilet and flushing ourselves down all by ourselves when we go into doubting whether we can do it or not.
Yeah.
And one of the best ways to really know is to go to class. Like, you're so wonderful that you offer that opportunity to come in all the time and do the work and hone your craft. Because when you are in a class and you can do it consistently over and over and over and over again, walking into another room shouldn't be any different.
Right.
Because
Right.
And if
it all comes from the same place.
You have to create it and find it within you. And now this is science. When you shift your belief systems, all energy around you has to shift. Everything has to shift. Just like if you throw a big boulder in a stream, the water has to shift around it and adapt to it and work with it. Same thing. That's a rule with all energy.
I'm really taking you in now. Whenever I get together with you, I always start tearing up because I really connect with what you say.
Because you hear the truth, David. And your heart hears the truth. That's why ET is still changing people's lives, because it surpasses something in our mental mind and goes right to our heart where we know the truth. Yeah. Keep your heart open and you get home. So the last thing I would do before I walk into an audition is go, all right, I'm directing my heart to be wide open here. Because then the energy can flow between you and them. And that's the magic. That's what they want. That's why, you've studied my technique with me, and I teach you to throw your energy to the camera. Let me see if I can get close enough so people can really see it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep looking at myself, but you see how I'm pulling my energy back? Mm-hmm. And now I'm pushing my energy forward and connecting with myself. And now I'm pulling it back. And now I'm pushing it forward to connect. That's what the camera picks up. So most of the time now, the director isn't in the room. We never have the director in the room. Half the time we're taping at home, right? And so the director's casting off of what they get on the monitor, guys. And if you're not sending your energy, I call it fucking the camera. But, if you're not sending the energy and having sex with the camera, then what the director feels is your energy back here, and he can't connect with you. And he might not even, or she, be able to explain what it is they just know that they're not connecting or feeling that excitement, right, of that play between the two of us.
Wow. That that's amazing. It's amazing to see how much the energy comes through your eyes, through your being,
Yeah.
and to see also how you hold it back if you want to, or
Yeah.
even if you don't know that you're holding it back, just because you're.
Well, yeah, because we want to be safe, so we close our hearts and we close our chakras and we pull our energy back, which is the worst thing you can do in an audition.
Right.
You know, you got to go in and go, here's my heart, here's my soul. I'm fucked up, I'm wonderful, I'm amazing, I'm full of crap, love me, let's go, right?
Right.
Because then they go, oh, I can play with that. I can work with that, right? But if you're closed off, I mean, let's face it, who wants to fuck a dead body, David?
Oh my God.
You know?
Now, can you?
I didn't ask you if I could swear, but oh well.
No, I don't mind it at all. I listen when I get into class and they're, everybody's in their moment, as you know. I start like throwing out the
Oh my God.
S-bomb because it's like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, I do, obviously.
and that's why I love you, Dee.
You know, I spend half my life doing horror films and the other half of my life healing people from fear. It's an interesting life I lead.
That is true. And
Yeah.
how are you meshing those two? How do you bring those two together?
Well, I've known a lot of fear in my life. I know what to call on, but you see, doing that work rocks my boat. It doesn't take me down.
Yeah.
Because it's all pretend, but I love doing emotional work. I love the emotional stuff.
Yeah.
I would love to have Jennifer Aniston's money, but quite frankly, her career would have bored the shit out of me. I just really love to do highly emotional stuff. And there's no better genre than the sci-fi, the horror, the thrillers, Cujo. I mean, come on. How many actresses wouldn't pay to do Cujo? Come on. I read it and I went, oh my God. I'm so lucky I had done The Howling with Dan Blatt.
Right.
And then I'd done E.T., so I was a huge name, and he just brought me Cujo. And I thought, my God, I have the opportunity to bring this woman to life and express what every mother in the world would do for their kid. I was like a dog with a chew toy.
Your emotions. You were like, what is it? An amoeba? Is that the right term? Just
channel. I just channeled all of it.
I mean, talk about being so in the moment.
Yeah, well, you have to be with a kid and a dog. Because when the kid and the dog work in the same scene, they print it. So you got to work all the time. You got to be present. We had a wonderful script, and every scene you see, there was so much improv in there because we didn't always know what the dog was going to do. Yeah. I didn't know what Danny was going to do all the time. We had a loose set of what was going to happen, and Dudley Moore, forget it. You couldn't plan out anything you did with Dudley Moore. I just went, hold on, Dee, you're along for the ride.
Right.
Right. So, that's another tip that I would certainly give actors when you're on the set. again, is if you have a hit to do something, if you have an idea, if you have a spark, you got to speak up. You've got to do it. You've got to follow through, because that's when all, and I can tell you all the major directors, every one of them that I've worked with has stopped and seen a moment that my character did and expanded on it. Every single one of them. The smaller directors want to micromanage everything, and, well, you know, we're going to set up the camera here, and there's your mark, and there's your mark, and this is what I want out of the scene. And they don't realize that if you limit an actor, your editor, your DP, right? Your writers, if you don't give them the room to express and create when things hit them, you lose the gold. A good example of this is the dinner table scene in E.T. We're all sitting around which is one of the first things we shot, by the way.
Really?
And we're all sitting there, and the way I work is I become Mary. For one, Mary comes through me. I don't figure out what to do with Mary. And I'm sitting there and I feel these tears coming up when he says he's in Mexico with Sally.
Right.
And I feel the tears coming up, and in my mind I go, oh, you can't let the kids see you cry. You can't let the kid. So I got up. Well, that wasn't in the script. I got up and left. Stephen yells cut, and he comes over to me and says, why did you do that? Why did you? And I explained to him what happened to me, and he looked at me and turned around and he said, I need everybody in here, build a kitchen set with a sink right there. I need the water to be running. So he took me from getting up over to the sink, putting my dish in so I could come around in that big close-up and say he hates Mexico. And that all happened within 30, 40 minutes on the set.
And
but that's a brilliant director that sees those moments.
And that's one of those. That's one of the moments too you remember in the film, or at least I remember.
You bet.
Remember that. I remember when you laughed when he
penis breath.
Just your reaction to that made that moment for me.
Because I didn't plan it.
Right.
See? It was just so real. The moment where I take Danny and Cujo and go, all right, I'll get you your father, right? They wanted to take that out.
Yeah.
Our beautiful Dan Blatt, love you, came up to me the next day and said, Dee, I want you to look at the dailies because it's so powerful, but we think the audience won't like you. And I looked at it and I said, Dan, if you take that out, you're crazy. Every parent in the world has felt that moment.
Yeah.
And they kept it in. And you know, David, that's one of the most mentioned scenes in Cujo by the critics.
Well, it's so human. It's
so,
like you said.
Exactly.
Luckily.
Blake Edwards turned the camera around to get that big close-up of me crying when Dudley was playing. They were already taking the equipment off to another set, and I was just sitting there being moved by Dudley. And he saw it and brought everybody back and got that big close-up of me. Peter Jackson, same thing in Frighteners. I mean, but you see, if you are too afraid and out of trust of yourself and your talent, you won't allow yourselves to follow those hits, and that's where the magic is.
Yeah. Well, Dee, the magic that you give to all of us it hits us in the heart.
Oh,
and it feeds us.
Thank you.
And
I love you so much, David.
I love you so much.
I love what you give to your world and all of us. It's, you know, that's why we're all going to make it through this beautiful challenge that we're in, because there's a lot of us that know that love gets you through anything. Yeah. And caring about each other and compassion, and just keep looking for those things, guys, to bring you out of your fear and back into love.
Thank you, Dee Wallace.
You're welcome, David Zimmerman.